Hello and welcome to Thomas Geiger Car. Today with the Microlino. Roughly 70 years after BMW brought us the Isetta and made Germany drive again, a Swiss company is bringing the iconic city car of the 1950s into the electric age. And this car already became the king of hearts in the mega cities of Europe, in Berlin, in Zurich, in Munich. This car is much more appreciated than any Tesla, any Xpeng or any Nio. But if you want to know if this car really is a car, if it can drive and if it delivers what it promises, join me on my first test drive and I'll tell you all about it. But before we start driving, let's just take a short look at the size and the shape of the vehicle. The shape is iconic and Microlino did a good job modernizing it a little but sticking to the iconic optics of the original, with the two-color scheme, with LED lights here, with an LED bar there, and most of all with very compact size. The car is only 2.50 m in length, roughly 1.50 m in width and in height. It's smaller than any Smart and any other city car you can imagine. It still offers place for two and two carriages of drinks in the trunk, and it only weighs 250 kilos net, so even a small battery gives you a decent range. But the most important thing is the way you enter the vehicle, because same as with the original, there are no side doors. You enter through the front door that opens like in the 50s. You have to climb around the steering wheel and finally get driving. Driving the Microlino is a huge fun as long as you're in the city, because you earn all the looks and you even pace out supercars like Lamborghinis, Ferraris or Porsche. You're the king of the hearts and you're the king of the parking garage, because there is actually no place you can't drop your Microlino. While all the fancy cars have to circle around your favorite hotspot in the city, you just drive up to it, drop it and enter the bar, the restaurant or the club. But the fun stops when the city ends, because the moment you leave the city limits and you're hitting the country roads, you're becoming an obstacle for the other cars. The motor of the Microlino just has 13 kilowatts or 17 horsepower and 89 Newton meters of torque. Yes, the vehicle is very light. It only weighs roughly 250 kilos plus 100 kilos for the driver, but still there is not much more possible than 90 kilometers per hour. And in a country where you can drive 100 on the country road and limitless on the Autobahn, the fun is very limited. The energy for that fun is delivered by a battery of 6 kilowatt hours in the base model, enough for 91 kilometers of drive. The mid-range model has a capacity of 10.5 kilowatt hours, equaling a range of 177 kilometers. And the top model is driving with 14 kilowatt hours battery, giving you a range of 230 kilometers. And I must admit, while my grandma drove over the Alps with an Isetta for vacation, I cannot imagine driving 230 kilometers in a vehicle like that in one stint. So yes, it's the perfect toy for the city, but if you want to go long distance, you better go in a grown-up car. Let's take a moment to take a closer look at the vehicle while driving through the city. The car is really simple. Simplicity is the main thing, same as with the original BMW Isetta. So we don't have too many dials, we don't have too many buttons. One small digital cluster instrument and one mini touchscreen here for the air condition and some basic functions. We have a sound bar in here, we have a grab to hold your smartphone, and that's basically it. And we have a surprisingly huge amount of space, at least as long as you're driving alone. There's lots of leg room, lots of headroom, and lots of room for your shoulders. And the moment you open the sunroof with one grab of that handle, you even got some summer feelings in the vehicle. The story totally changes once you invite a passenger, because then it's really getting tight and cozy and you better be good friends or even better in love with your co-driver. Otherwise, you will have major problems keeping your social distance. Driving the Microlino is like driving every other small electric vehicle. It takes a few miles until you're used to it, but after that it feels just like a tiny version of an electric Smart, an electric Mini or an electric Dacia Spring. Not the most comfortable ride, but very agile, very small, very nimble, and you get around the corners really, really easy. The story totally changes the moment you want to end your ride and you want to get out of the vehicle, because then you think, hey, where are the doors? No, they're not where they usually are in a car. So you park the vehicle, you get it in neutral, you put the parking brake and you look around, and then you realize, hey, it is like the original Isetta, opening the front portal, stepping out and going your way. Thanks for joining me on that first test drive with the new Microlino, a car that immediately hit me in the heart. I don't want to talk about safety, I don't want to talk about comfort, but as long as it's city driving, this car is the champion in the town. It is quick, it is quiet, and it finds a parking space wherever you need it. Only disadvantage is the price, because it starts at roughly 18,000 euros, which is cheap for an electric vehicle, but pretty expensive for a city car. And most of all, it's a hell of a money for a cute little toy. Thank you, Shishye, Saitien, and goodbye.